Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are going to be looking at the weekly metagame breakdown for the Timeless Best of 3 format. Most notably this weekend is going to be the Timeless Metagame Challenge, so you can try to farm some free packs. For those unfamiliar with the format, it's basically anything goes. No cards are banned, there's 3 cards restricted, but think of it as like the highest power level possible in the format. Turn 1 kills are possible, turn 2 kills a little bit more frequent, but you're doing broken things in this format. So if you are a little bit new, it is going to be daunting. You can't just take a standard deck here. Honestly, even some of the historic decks you can't even take because the power level discrepancy is quite high. So we're going to take a look at some decks that are popping up from UntapedGG, companion tool that runs alongside Arena's client. Timeless in itself, there's a very dedicated community, but there's not huge amounts of games played. As such, we don't get a great diversity spread, even kind of taking it to platinum. I think at gold you'll start getting some information, but even then it's still a little limited in terms of what's available. That said, let's jump into it. All the deck lists will be timestamped and pasted, so you can copy paste along with Untapped link if you want to get started. So we're actually going to be looking March 4th through the 26th. Very low data. There's only 6,700 games, so it's not the largest population size to begin with. The deck itself with the highest win rate, most of these are going to be smaller samples, so just keep it in mind these are the viable decks. Percentage points could vary slightly between who's playing given the small population. But this is Esper Tempo, kind of a base blue frog deck that's splashing white for Fragment, Reality, and Swords Plowshare in the main board. Someone pointed out last week when I made the mistake, there's a Loris in the companion or in the sideboard, but not in the companion zone. That's because Subtlety is here. So in the matchups where Subtlety is not relevant, you can get rid of it and put Loris as your companion. Subtlety, you can basically evoke it by exiling a blue card from your hand. So free cast with the Evoke Elemental series. When it enters, choose up to 1 target creature or Planeswalker spell, so either in play or on the stack, and you can put it on the top or bottom. Its owner puts on top or bottom of their library. So it gives you kind of a free cast effect. This deck also has Flare of Denial, which is another free counter spell in a way. You have this interesting creature here, Phantasmal Shieldback. So 1 mana, 1/3. When it becomes a target of spell or ability, you sacrifice it. When it dies, it draws a card. So it's a 1/3 that blocks like the energy deck, stuff like that. And then it can be pitched to Flare of Denial, and it basically replaces itself through the card draw. You have the Tamiyo Brainstorm ability to flip it fairly easy, and then Psychic Frog kind of takes over the game in that respect. Outside of that, Mystic Sanctuary can let you rebuy some of your effects. You have Treasure Cruise to refill your hand. Prismatic Ending as some more removal. You have Spell Pierce, Cheap Disruption, Stern Scolding, Disruptor Flute in here as another way to shut off like combo decks, Sorin decks, anything with activated abilities. You have Orcish Bowmaster to ping anything that's doing like excessive card draw effects, Toxic Deluge's Sweeper, and then Commandeer, another kind of free pitch effect that you can steal your opponent's stuff with spells on the stack. From there, we go to Mardu Energy. This one's at 80%. So this deck here, basically there's 2 versions. There's the Mardu and the Boros versions. Mardu's on Loris Companion. Juggernaut Peddler is Hand Hate. You have your Bowmasters, Hand Hate with Thoughtseize. Nightmare lets you rebuy stuff, and then you have like the Goblin Bombardment, a Johnny package, the energy package in itself, a couple Ragavans. Static Prison could be used to shut off like Show and Tell if you could put it into play, so it gives you some utility there. But kind of more of the fair deck in the format compared to some of the others. Deafening Silence for anything playing multiple spells per turn. Portable Holes, cheap removal, good in the mirrors, Luris Mirrors. Thoughtseize for more hand hate along with Juggernaut Peddler, and then License Hearse for graveyard hate. We then have the Boros Energy version. So this one's a little bit bigger on curve. You have Giganta Companion. With Boros, you're playing Flage in here, as well as the One Ring for card advantage. Arena of Glory plays very strongly with the Flage to give it haste the turn it comes out, so you get like the ETB plus the attack trigger. Outside of that, you still have like the Bombardment Amp Raptor package, slightly lower curve. And then like you don't have the Peddlers or the Hand Hate with this one here, but a little bit more grind elements on the top end. Again, Silence, Meltdown for anything with heavy artifact synergies. Stone of Erich for the mirrors, anything that's sacking stuff, it exiles instead. Swords to Plowshare as removal. Containment Priest as anything looking to cheat into play. So Sorin, for example, cheats into play vampires while it gets exiled instead. Then you have Disruptor Flute for activated abilities, also just as a tax effect. Slows it down a couple turns. Roiling Vortex, anything looking to free cast. So against Omniscience, they would take 5 damage per cast. Chrome Mox, anything with 0 CMC also hits them. And then Blood Moon for the greedier mana base decks. Against Belcher, they could sometimes still win, but kind of going from there. You then have Abzan. So this is Abzan Birthing Ritual. This version here is kind of a toolboxy style deck. So Birthing Ritual allow you to sacrifice a creature and then kind of tutor into play something from the top. I think it's 7 or 6. 7. With Renegade Rallier, you would trigger Revolt, so you can kind of rebuy stuff. So you could like sack the Peddler, get it back type effect, blink it a couple times. You have your energy package on the low end. Gearhulk lets you tutor for stuff. And then you have like the Balemerc Solitude package where you blink it with Dedicated Dollmaker to get that value there as well, which is kind of cool. Witch Enchanter is another land that can be hit off Balemerc. That also is a nice blink target since it blows up artifacts or enchantments. Chrome Box, for those unfamiliar, it has the ability Imprint. So for 0 mana, you cast it, you exile a non-artifact, non-land card from your hand, and then you add mana equal to its color. So it gives you some value there to kind of ramp up ahead, like turn 1 2-drop type thing. Graveyard Hate with Tormod's Grip, Deafening Silence like we mentioned, Needle for activated abilities, Static Prison is removal, Bowmaster. Against the Belcher decks, you have White Orchard Phantom to blow up their lands, and then Archon as another tax effect. That works nicely since you can find it off Birthing Ritual. We then go to Orzhov. So this is a deck, folks. This could win on turn 1 sometimes. It's a Belcher deck that's got the Sorin Alenda Vampire package. You Grief in your opener, and then you can, with Grief on the stack, you can sacrifice it. You get the mana equals to its power, and then you can kind of just chain together Dark Rituals. You have Necropotence, Necrodominance that just gives you card draw as well. And then you just kind of go to town there. So lots of kind of ways to win with this deck here. It is kind of all in combo, the Belcher, because you have no lands in the deck because they're all MDFC. You just burn them out that way there. Leyline for anything for the mirrors, anything with heavy discard. Path to Peril is a sweeper. Rest in Peace for Graveyard Hate. Defense Grid for the counterspell decks. March of Wretched Sorrow is more removal. Plays nice with Necro because you can discard the cards at end step, gain a bunch of life. Fragment for cheap removal. Duress for Hand Hate. You're playing Duress over Thoughtseize because you're a Necro deck, so every life point counts to draw you extra cards. And then Pact of Negation, just in like combo mirrors, it could protect you as you try to go off for the turn. Then have Show and Tell. So this deck here, 72%. So this deck, some of them are playing Chrome Mox as well. It's just another way you can kind of win the game a little bit ahead of curve. Veil of Summer to protect. The core of the deck is Show and Tell for Omniscience. And then eventually Dig. You have Mastermind's Acquisition that could go into your sideboard to get Approach Second Sun. Then you dig to find a second copy. From there, you also have like Waterlog Teaching that could tutor a Pallbreaker Horror. You have Atraxa, just a bunch of card advantage. The rest of the deck's basically setting up and finding the combo. Assemble is in here. Born Upon the Wind lets you win through Bowmaster or Shieldred, and then just like a bunch of counters. Demonic Tutor helps you dig as well. Abrupt Decay deals with most of the common hate pieces in the format. Sideboard, you have Surgicals for combo Graveyard Hate, Thoughtseize for Hand Hate, Abrupt Decay for hate pieces. Psychic Frog's interesting, I guess just a threat in like control-ish mirrors if both players are kind of holding up interaction. Frog could, because your opponent's usually going to take out removal against you since they're more focused on the combo, so Frog could just run away with it. Deluge for sweepers against energy. Frozen Grip's really strong in the mirror. You have the other Deluge as another sweeper. Force of Vigor deals with the artifact enchantment, so a lot of the hate pieces, also in the mirror. And then Commandeer and the combo mirror, stuff like that. You can see their effects. Then another wild one, we have 7 land Affinity. Well, 11. So you have 7 lands plus your 4, it's a little bit more. You have 4 Sink into Stupors and then 4 Hydroelectric Specimens. So you're technically at 15 lands. This deck here has Thought Monitor to draw you cards along with Thoughtcast, and then Kappa Cannoneer. Very easy to flip Tamiyo. You have Mox, Chrome Mox and Mox Amber that both generate mana off Emery as well as Tamiyo. You have Flare Denial for protection effects. You have the Retrofitter Foundry Ornithopter combo, and then Landlord Navigator. When it attacks, you create a map token, and then if 2 artifacts came into play for that turn, you get to conjure a Thieving Magpie into play, which will allow you to draw cards when it deals combat damage to an opponent. You have the artifact lands in Seed of Synod as well as Treasure Vault. Notably, these do get hit by Fragment Reality, so keep that in mind. Subtlety in the sideboard, just when you need kind of a bounce effect. Deals with stuff on the stack. Rebuke as a cheap counter through Improvise, along with Stern Scolding Spell Snare. You have Disruptor Flute for activated abilities, combo stuff. You have Soul Guide Lantern for Graveyard Hate, Rapid Hybridization as removal, kind of tempo elements, and then Aether Spell Bomb as a bounce effect. Then lastly, we have Mono Blue Belcher. So, like I said, a lot of Chrome Mox, a lot of Belcher, a lot of combo in this format. So this deck here, again, no lands. You have like 1 ring in here, Show and Tell lines. Show and Tell works with Fae of Wishes to get you the combo in the side of Approach Second Sun. Stock up in here helps you dig. You have the Flare of Denial with like the Dorks, Laji, and Thunder Trap that help you dig for your combo pieces. Commandeers, Hallbreaker Horrors, all that jazz again in here. Against White of Night Orchid decks, you have a mountain in the sideboard that you can fetch. You have Approach the Second Sun in here to draw you, or that's your win condition. Discard decks, mirrors, you have Leyline. Counterspell decks, you have Defense Grid. Born Upon the Wind lets you win through Bowmaster Shieldred. Stern Scolding and Spell Snare, situational counters that are good against some of like the Luris piles. Flusterstorm for combo decks. And then Chalice can be used against Luris piles, anything looking to play a bunch of 1-mana spells, for example. That's it for the format. Good luck to those playing. We'll probably do a run on Saturday, see how it plays out, undecided what I'm going to play with yet. As you can tell, I don't own Chrome Moxes, so I will have to decide who I want to craft Chrome Moxes. In any case, good luck to those playing, and we'll catch you next time.